Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a ranked list of the 42 new battle pets coming to WoW in patch 7.3. We're going to take a look at their models, their moves, and what you'll need to do to get them. These are loosely ranked in descending order, meaning the best ones are at the end. The rankings are like 70% based on moveset, 20% on looks, and 10% on the star factor. Of course, this is all my personal opinion, so if you think I'm wrong, feel free to tell me all about how wrong I am and why down in the comments. Taking spots 42 and 41, we have the Warpstalker and Voidstalker Runt. These have the same model and moveset as the existing Warpstalker hatchling, which never really quite caught on. These guys are available as wild pets on Argus. The new colors are definitely flashy, but this has just caught and then forgotten about written all over it. In spots 40 and 39, we have the Arcane Gorger and Fell Crazed Worm, both wild pets from Macquarie. Worms are nothing new, and the coloring of the Fell Crazed Worm is identical to the original Mana Wyrmling. The most unique thing about these is that the Fell Crazed variant has Fell Immolate instead of Flurry in its moveset, and the white coloring of the Arcane Gorger is new. Nothing here is going to change your life. Coming in at rank 38 is the Flickering Argonite. It's a geode, but golden. There's nothing wrong with this thing, but there's also nothing to really get excited about unless you're some sort of rock enthusiast. If you feel like a new pet rock, you can find your own Argonite as a wild pet in Crocune. In spot 37 is the Bound Stream. This is an elemental pet with a full aquatic moveset, like the Pandaren Water Spirit. It drops from the Ascendant Council fight in Bastion of Twilight, and you'll need it to complete your Cuticlysm achievement. I'd recommend this for the lonely frost mage that's feeling unfulfilled by just one water elemental. At rank 36, the Cinder Web Recluse off of Beth'Telak in the Firelands is your standard issue fancy spider. Hunters that have tamed the matching pet might want it for the sake of fashion. The moveset is unique. We've got Skitter in addition to a Leech Life combo, and Paralyzing Venom is always nice to have on hand. The most remarkable thing about the Recluse to me is the rather disturbing flavor text. If you're gonna eat somebody's limbs and then lay eggs in their body, you should really buy them a drink first. In spot 35 is the Corrupted Blood. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a spiky biohazard as much as the next person, but the moveset isn't exactly getting my pulse up. We've got some Dragonkin damage, we've got Explode, but no noticeable combos to speak of. You can find your own Corrupted Blood off of the Madness of Deathwing fight in Dragon Soul. At rank 34 is the Fell Lasher. This is a very cool looking plant with predictably all elemental moves. Despite being a decidedly fell bit of flora, it has an identical moveset to the existing Amanvale Lashling. At this point in the PTR, we don't actually know where the Fell Lasher comes from. It could be herbalism, it could be a quest, nobody knows. Occupying ranks 33 and 32 are the Bile Scourge and Antoran Bile Scourge. Freaky looking little guys, aren't they? These are a brand new type of creature available to capture as wild pets on Argus. They're flying type, but with exclusively Dragonkin and undead damage. It's like a leech grew wings. Now, am I crazy, or are they kinda like a little bit cute? In rank 31 is the Discarded Experiment off of Maloriak in Blackwing Descent. No move combos here, but you get points for covering 4 different families worth of damage in one pet. I have no earthly idea where this guy would be good, but there's probably something. There always is. Coming in at rank 30 is the Blaze Hound. Think Scraps, but on fire. This smoky puppy drops from Shanix in the Firelands. He seems like a good anti-mech pet, but we weren't exactly hurting for those. Puppies of the Flame is always fun. In rank 29, we have Drafty from Nazir in Throne of the Four Winds. Autumn Breeze and Wing Buffet make this a potentially fun pet to use in PvP. Unfortunately, he does his best damage against aquatic pets and also takes the most from them, so his niche might be tough to find. At rank 28 is the Faceless Mind Lasher. This spooky looking bro drops from Yorsage in Dragon Soul. If you win the 50-50 roll with an Inner Vision Worst Fear combo, you could get a big hit in, but we already have pets like the Nexus Whelpling for burst magic damage. The hit chance is guaranteed if you can put the pet to sleep first, but you'll need help from a teammate to set that up. I feel like I'm gonna just not bother. At rank 27 is the Faceless Minion from Cho'Gall in Bastion of Twilight. Now, he's got interesting moves, but lots of high cooldowns and no multi-hit attacks to combo his Foreboding Curse with. I suppose you could curse, and then tentacle stab, and then void portal out of there while another pet takes advantage. Coming in at rank 26 is the Grasping Manifestation. This thing has won major points for style. This is, without a doubt, the flashiest tentacle I've ever seen. It's hard for me to stop looking at it. The moveset's fine. I can see using Creeping Insanity and then Illusionary Barrier versus a Flying Pet to try and bring it below half and deactivate its racial. If you're passing turns, the barrier buys you time for the Insanity to go off without taking a truckload of damage. At ranks 25, 24, and 23 are the Pygmy, Orphaned, and Fellclaw Marcille. What is a Marcille, you ask? That is a good question. This thing. It's like a rat beaver with fins. These are very avoidance-heavy little guys with moves like Burrow, Crouch, and Feign Death. The Pygmy Marcille is a wild pet, while the facetiously named Orphaned Marcille can be bought off the Argesian Reach Quartermaster at Honored. To get the Fellclaw Marcille, you'll need to do the new Family Fighter achievement on Argus. Get ready to do a lot of pet battling. Coming in at ranks 22, 21, and 20 are the Skyfin Juvenile, Docile Skyfin, and Fell-Afflicted Skyfin. This is another brand new pet model introduced this patch. The Docile and Fell-Afflicted Skyfins drop from a Fell-Spotted Egg, which in turn drops from a rare elite mob in Crocoon. The Skyfin Juvenile is flitting around as a wild pet to catch in Mechary. They come equipped with a perfectly good flying moveset. Wing Buffet can force a pet swap, and Wild Magic will do work alongside Slicing Wind. At rank 19, we have the Amalgam of Destruction. This little pile of Deathwing bits is the pet that you get for completing the new Raiding with Leashes achievement in 7.3. Now, I haven't tried this yet, but the way I see it, you could cast Elementium Bolt, then Volcano, and then swap to Carminius for a Howl and Serger power to kind of rig yourself a little Howl Bomb 2.0. I don't know if it'll 100% work out that way, but it looks promising to me. At ranks 18, 17, and 16, we've got the Bile Larva, Fossorial Bile Larva, and the Antoran Bile Larva. Like the Bile Scourge, two of these are wild pets on Argus, and they're actually different life cycles of the same creature. The Fossorial Larva is still source unknown, although with that name, I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up on the archaeology loot tables. The main reason why these lovely buddies squirmed their way a bit higher up the list is that I am always dying for critter damage in PvP. You could combo up Acidic Goo with Chomp to gobble your way through undead pets, and you have Burrow to avoid big damage. If we can get these in a high-speed breed, this will be one larva I'd love to take home. At rank 15 is the Rebellious Imp, who drops from Mother Rosula on Argus. Now, he's got the exact same moveset as the Fiendish Imp we got out of Karazhan, but he is considerably more on fire. Look how fiery he is! I feel like the extra fire and noticeable lack of clothes makes him look happier. Him and the Corefire Imp will get right along. At rank 14, we have Rattlejaw from Nefarian. Rattlejaw's got undead moves for days. He's a real purist that way. He also has the distinction of being the only pet in the game with Empowering Strikes or Great Cleave. That Great Cleave does heavy cleave damage with no personal sacrifice on a fairly short 2-round cooldown, which might come in handy. You could cleave, spend a few turns reanimating, cleave again, and then fill in with Empowering Strikes. Follow your heart on the move order, but I think there's some potential here. Coming in at rank 13 is the Twilight Clutch Sister, who drops from Valiona in the Bastion of Twilight. How good she is going to depend a lot on what sort of speed she has, and whether it's enough to get 2 rounds out of your phase shift. We also still don't know what her level 10 ability will be, so there's room for her to get better before launch. I just think she'll make a cute girlfriend for my Death Talon Whelpguard. He has been lonely for years and I never take him out. At rank 12 is the esteemed Etherion Prints off of Alakir in the Throne of the Four Winds. I'm seeing lots of weather-themed effects like Call Lightning, Autumn Breeze, Wind Buffet. Okay, all of them. You can't argue with consistency. Blazing in at rank 11 is everyone's favorite gardening bot, Dibbler. He's got an all-mechanical moveset featuring favorites like Wind Up and Explode. He's also debuting some brand new moves such as Storm Coil, which is a Thunderbolt-style cleave with mech damage. Drill Charge is like a mechanical version of Surge, so even if he's slow, it's alright. Coming in at rank 10 is the new 2017 Winter Veil pet, a Globe Yeti. Doesn't he look nice? With the all-white colors, he reminds me of the abominable snow monster from the 1964 Rudolph special. This cranky fellow should do some decent damage with hard-hitting moves like Roar, Gift of Winter's Veil, and Rampage. Swooping in at rank 9 is Serger, who comes from Balerock in the Firelands. His undying love for surging means that his moveset covers a variety of damage types including aquatic, elemental, and humanoid. Stone Skin is always handy to have around, and it should help you to take less damage from Body Slam if that's something you feel like doing. At rank 8, we have a Ghost Shark. Let that sink in for a sec. You can get a Ghost Shark. This is a new fishing pet from Alicia of the Waters, who I can only assume is Margos's great niece or something. His flavor text says that he's doomed to eternal hunger. Poor fishy. Well, nothing says we can't try to feed him with other people's puppies and stuff. He can combo up his own blood in the water with huge sharp teeth and also has some undead moves to choose from. Coming in at rank 7 is the Infernal Pyreclaw off of Majordomo Staghelm in the Firelands. He's got shell armor, he can cleave, what's not to like? It's a fire scorpion that's literally on fire. The cleave move combined with his beast type means he might come in handy versus humanoid teams. Next up at rank 6 is the Unstable Tendril off of everyone's favorite encounter of Dragon Soul, Spine of Deathwing. Throw up a Scorched Earth, spam Deep Burn, cauterize once in a while, or throw out an Elementium Bolt for fun. I couldn't tell you how effective that's going to be, but it looks cool. We get so many tentacle pets in 7.3 that it's a great time to be a Shadow Priest. You should all probably swap over, we've got like Shadow Noodles and stuff, come on. At rank 5, we have Crossgazer from a quest in the Antoran Waste. It looks like Willy's all grown up. Turn your enemy into undead with Rot, slow their speed if needed with Eye Blast, and then just ruin their lives with Tongue Lash. If you have a speed advantage from the get-go, you can whip out Interrupting Gaze and make them really angry. I can't wait to play with this thing, although I'll admit that his side gills make me vaguely uncomfortable. How come we never see these things underwater? At a very respectable rank 4 is the Void Shardling, a wild pet from Macquarie. Look at how cool this thing looks! Pair up Ant Magic with Soul Rush for a big smack, or Arcane Explosion for some handy cleave. This is a very cool looking pet that is on the must collect list for accessorizing Shadow Priests. I really like watching his fingers, aren't they weird? At rank 3 is the Stoic Tiny Tron. He drops from Magmatron in Blackwing Descent. His whole moveset is fascinating, but the thing that I really want to try is the simultaneous Fire Shield and Lightning Shield. Any mech pet trying to use Batter is going to absolutely shred themselves. I'm probably going to get this and try it, and it won't be nearly as effective as I'm picturing, but I have dreams. At rank 2 is Naxi. This little mini raid is a new Hallow's End pet for tricky treats. We've got Sticky Web and Leech Life on what is most definitely not a spider. Add in the spammable Death Coil and you have a very tanky little Necropolis. I'm hoping that Naxi has a really high health stat, or else that's a waste of a perfectly promising moveset. Finally, taking an honorary first place is Una. I don't feel right ranking her, and I couldn't bring myself to put her anywhere but the very pinnacle of the list. She can't battle, which is probably for the best. She drops from the Many-Faced Devourer, and her flavor text says that she was infused into an Urzul. If you're not familiar with what an Urzul is, they look like this. Maybe I haven't been paying attention, but that has to be one of the darkest things that I have ever read in this game. I need a hug. So those are the 42 confirmed new pets coming in patch 7.3. We're still in PTR, so there's still plenty of time for them to sneak in more. I'd say that as is, this is quite enough. It's time to start saving up your pet charms if you want quick upgrades on your new pets, and to start daydreaming about which ones you want first and where you're going to bring them. I need me a Void Shardling stat. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Please consider leaving a like if you liked it, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!